संस्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। So, Bhagavan Buddha's birthday is coming soon. I think it is on the 12th. So I thought let us discuss his life. We have had a few discussions before when we were in the old place, our Vancouver place. One or two discussions on Buddhism, but not really the life of Buddha. So just a outline, and we will see some wonderful pictures along with that. So let us start with the words of Swami Vivekananda himself. As we know, he was a great devotee of Bhagavan Buddha. So I quote from one of his talks. He says, "The life of Buddha has a special appeal. All my life I have been very fond of him. I have more veneration for that character than for any other. That boldness, that fearlessness, and that tremendous love. He was born for the good of humankind. Others may seek God, may seek truth for themselves, but he did not even care to know truth for himself. He sought truth only because people were in misery. How to help them, that was his only concern. Throughout his life, he never had a thought for himself. How can we, ignorant, selfish, narrow-minded human beings, ever understand the greatness of this man? And consider his marvelous brain, no emotionalism. That giant brain was never superstitious. Believe not because an old manuscript has been produced, because it has been handed down to you from your forefathers, because your friends want you to, but think for yourself, search for the truth yourself, and of course realize it yourself." That was what he taught. These are Swami Vivekananda's words, and now we will start the outline of Buddha's life, and I will share some pictures with you. So this picture you see is supposed to be Buddha preaching his first sermon from Sarnath, and this was carved in 5th century. So most of us know that there are many names by which Bhagavan Buddha is addressed. The clan name was, of course, Gautama, which means descendant of Gautama. Gautama meaning one who has the most light. And we all know that the name given to him by his parents was Siddhartha. So this is a Sanskrit word, Siddha Artha, one who achieves his goal. And the most common name by which we all know is Buddha. So Buddha also is a Sanskrit word actually. It is not a proper noun. Buddha means awakened one. Prabuddha, Buddha, one who has awakened, or the enlightened one. So, Buddha means one who has awakened from the deep sleep of ignorance. We are prasupta. Prasupta means we are sleeping nicely in this darkness. But these people are not like us. They want knowledge and they get it by their tremendous efforts. So Buddha is not a personal name but a title for all those who have attained enlightenment. So our Swamiji, all Shankaracharya, they can all be called Buddha in that sense. Another one of his names is Shakya Muni, or the Muni, sage. So sage of the Shakyas. And still another name is Tathagata. The exact meaning of this Tathagata term is unknown, but it is often thought to mean either who has gone, Tatha Agata, Tathagata, and because Sanskrit, if there are a plus a, it becomes a. Then if there is one a also, it becomes a. In the two words, if they are joined, if the first one is a and the second one is a, then also it becomes a. Second one is a, then also it becomes a. So Tathagata can be broken up in two ways. Tathagata plus Tatha Agata. So Tathagata means one who has thus gone. If you say Tatha Agata, then one who has come. So this is interpreted as signifying that Tathagata is beyond all coming and going. There is no coming and going. Coming is going is for people like us, being born, again dying. But he is beyond all transitory phenomena. So Tathagata is said to be immeasurable, inscrutable, hard to fathom and not apprehended. Because ordinary people cannot fathom. The awakened ones live in a different plane altogether. So, what are the sources of his life? Sources which present a complete picture of life of Buddha are a variety of different and traditional biographies. There are many, but we will just name two. First is Buddha Charita and Lalita Vistara. So Buddha Charita is an epic poem written by the great poet Ashwaghosha in the 1st century and is the earliest biography of Buddha. About his birth, we don't know the date. There are different versions and they differ not by 1 or 2 years, but by maybe 400, 500 years. But approximately it can be said that he was born around 500 BC. He has said to have lived for 80 years, but again, there is uncertainty about his date of death also, because naturally we don't know when he was born, so we don't know when he died. And Shakya Muni, the name itself suggests that Buddha was a Shakya, means belonging to a clan which was from the northeastern region of the Indian subcontinent. So, this much the whole world knows that Buddha was one of the greatest spiritual leaders the world has produced. And we all know he was a monk who lived in South Asia during the 5th or 6th century BC, and he was the founder of Buddhism also. Founder of Buddhism means what? We have to understand, these people never founded anything in that sense. They preached, they gave their message and went away. After that, their disciples formed a different religion, that yes, Buddha is what he has taught will be now known as Buddhism, like that. So it is not that they themselves said, I am preaching another new religion, Buddhism, not like that. Swami Vivekananda himself said that Buddhism is not different from Vedanta. It is an offshoot of Vedanta. So according to the Buddhist tradition, Gautama was born in Lumbini. It is now in modern day Nepal. Lumbini is now in Nepal, and he was raised in Kapila Vastu. So I will again share the picture. So this map you can see, these show the ancient kingdoms of India at the time of Buddha, that is around 500 BC. You can see all the ancient kingdoms: Hastinapur, Panchala, Kosala, Ayodhya, Kashi, Magad. All these ancient names you can see. So earliest Buddhist sources state that Buddha was born to an aristocratic Kshatriya family, like our Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda is also a Kshatriya. And the family name was Gautama, who were part of the Shakyas, a tribe of rice farmers living near the modern border of India and Nepal. And his father's name was Shuddhodana. He was an elected chief of the Shakya clan, whose capital was Kapila Vastu. His mother, you may know the name, Maya Devi, Shuddhodana's wife, was a princess from Devadaha. I don't know the pronunciation, it is either Devadaha or Devadaha. That is also of course in Nepal. So now legend has it that, all these people had special births. Sri Ramakrishna, we know that his mother saw a light coming out from the Shiva temple and entering her. So it is said that on the night Siddhartha was conceived, Queen Maya dreamt that a white elephant with 6 white tusks entered her right side. So divine conception, we can say. And as was the tradition, when Maya Devi conceived, she left Kapila Vastu for her father's kingdom to give birth to Buddha. And actually Buddha, when she was going, Buddha is supposed to have been born on the way at Lumbini, in a garden beneath a tree. So we will see the pictures. So here you can see a close-up map of Lumbini and other major Buddhistic sites in India. Lumbini right at the top you can see. Lumbini near Kathmandu, you can see Kushinagar, Vaishali. Then this is an ancient sculpture, 2nd or 3rd century. It depicts the birth of Buddha. You will see Buddha's mother standing right in the middle, and on the right side you see a small baby. Can you see? Yeah. So this is depicting the birth of Buddha. See, wonderful architecture you can see. And the next photo will show the birthplace of Buddha. It is marked. So here this is a recent photograph, as you can see. So this is called the Maya Devi temple, after Buddha's mother. And this temple marks Buddha's birthplace in Lumbini. So this is in Lumbini. And Buddha was a special child, so it is said that as soon as he was born, he was able to talk and he was able to walk also. And when he walked, it is said that a lotus flower blossomed under his foot at each step. When he walked for the first time, maybe. So, anyway, these are legends. And of course, in those days, there was a lot of astrology and all that thing. Not that it is not there, it is still there now. So, the king, his father, Shuddhodana, summoned the court astrologers to predict the boy's future. So, most of them were of the opinion that he would either become a very great king, the greatest the world has ever seen, or he would become a all-renouncing monk. So most of them, it is said, that thought he would become a monk. His mother, Buddha's mother, unfortunately died just after a week after his birth. So he was brought up by his mother's sister, Mahaprajapati. As a young child, the prince was once left unattended during a festival. Means, like, in the life of Jesus, they were going for the feast and he was left behind. Jesus was left behind. So similarly here, he was left unattended. So when everybody began to search for him, they saw that he was seated under a tree in deep meditation. And he had remained motionless. And there was also a snake on top of him, which was protecting him from the sun. So, another photograph. Of Buddha, an ancient sculpture. So the prince, naturally, because he was the son of a king, although Shuddhodana was not a very great king, but he was at least a ruler over some area. So naturally, there was no dearth of luxuries and all. And his father was always afraid that his son would become a monk. So he always shielded him from any exposure to the ills of life, including old age, sickness and death. So it is said that Buddha had many palaces, one for summer, one for winter, one for rainy season. And of course, nice things to eat and drink. And the best medicine, if you want to entangle someone in the world, we all know what is the best medicine. So his father also applied that medicine and married Siddhartha when he was just 16. And of course we know his wife's name was Yashodhara. So seemingly Buddha lived a very happy life, but when he was 29 years of age, there was a complete change in his life. King had asked not to take him outside the palace and all that, but one day Siddhartha insisted, no, let me see the outside world. So he was taken for a ride through the city in his chariot, and first time it is said that he saw those sights which completely changed him. So it is said that the king had told everybody, my son is going, there should be no old man, no sick man, everybody in your home, nobody on the road. But naturally God's providence, that could not be done. So first time Siddhartha saw an old man and he was shocked. That he asked his charioteer, what is this? Charioteer said, he is an old man. And every body of us will become old. So Siddhartha said, I have seen enough. There are two versions. One says that he returned, then again came, then one version says he saw the four sights at one outing. So next he saw a diseased man. Hmm. Third of all, he saw a dead person. So, all these things when he saw, he was greatly shocked. So, it is hardly any chance that Buddha had not seen anybody old before, but maybe this was the correct time. He may have seen, but this was the correct time for his awakening. And last of all, fourth side, what he saw was a monk seated under a tree. So, there are wonderful accounts of this. We will discuss those later. So, now, before we proceed, some other photographs also. This is the Lumbini inscription marking his birthplace. So, this was built by Ashoka, King Ashoka, because Buddha was converted to Ashoka. King Ashoka, yeah. But Ashoka was converted to Buddhism, so he did a lot to spread Buddhism throughout India.
What is this script?
This is, I don't know, maybe we can just guess. Maybe Pali or something, I don't know. I have no idea. But we can search and find out. It will be given somewhere. So now, having been exposed to the various ills of human life and the existence of those who seek to go beyond them, he also saw a monk. Now he told the king, I have seen enough. I won't remain in this world, where the only fate, ultimate fate is what? Old age, disease, death. So whatever you enjoy earlier, what does it matter? So father, of course, was very much discouraged and depressed. He said, "No, you ask for anything, I'll give you, but don't ask for this permission." Like Nachiketa. Nachiketa when he went to Yama. Yama told, "No, you take ice cream, you take pizzas, you take all those nice things." No, Nachiketa says, "No, I won't be fooled by all this." So Siddhartha also, he put one condition before his father. Father, you want me to stay with you? I will stay. But on one condition. Father said, yes. What condition? You promise me that I will never grow old. I will never become sick. And I will never die. So naturally, Shuddhodana could not promise. Nobody can promise those things. So, Prince went to his chamber, and father entertained with many things, but nothing would work. And before a week, he had been informed that his wife had given birth to a son. And people are overjoyed when they have sons and grandsons and great-grandsons, of course. But Buddha was Buddha, so he said, "Oh my God, this is a fetter. It is a bondage." And the child was named Rahula. Rahula means a fetter. And before the prince left the palace, when he renounced the world, he had gone one last time into his chamber just to look upon his wife and son. So, again we will see some photographs. And so here you see Buddha, the child Buddha, you can see he is standing on a lotus. So it is said that when he was born and started walking, wherever he stepped, a lotus bloomed. So just a painting, and the lady standing with the hand on her branches, of course, his mother, Maya Devi. And all these people you see, Brahma and all these are gods. So the gods had come to worship him. A great soul had been born. And these are again a painting. Buddha is seeing those four sights. So first you can see a man with a stick right at the corner. He is an old man. Then beside him a man is ailing, so he's a sick man. And another with a skeleton, you can see, there's a skeleton, so he's a dead man. And there is a no monk is not shown here, but on top there is another side, people are fighting, quarreling. So all the fighting in the world, we all know what is going on. And then this is another picture showing the four sides. So here you see a monk. In front is a very diseased man, there is a dead man, skeleton, and there is a monk also. Another painting just to depict it. And this is wonderful, wonderful, absolutely painting which shows Buddha going for the last time into his chamber. Just to have a look at his wife and child. So Siddhartha left Kapilavastu and the royal life behind him forever and entered the forest, where he cut off his hair and exchanged his all those garments, royal garments, for the simple dress of a monk. So another sculpture to see. Here you can see right in the middle there is a person shaving off his head. Can you see? So he is supposed to be Buddha. And his horse is standing here on his left. You can see there is a horse. So he is bidding farewell to his charioteer. Channa, it seems his name was Channa. So Siddhartha became a monk. From that point on, he ate whatever was placed in his begging bowl. All those nice things he had left behind. And early in his wanderings, it is said he encountered Bimbisara. Bimbisara was the king of Magad. And eventually he became a follower of Buddha. So when Bimbisara learned that he is actually a prince, he said, no problem, you come to my kingdom, you share my kingdom. But Siddhartha had not left to go to another kingdom only, so naturally he declined. But he told Bimbisara, I will return to your kingdom after achieving what I am going for, after achieving enlightenment. So over the next 6 years, the prince studied, meditated, and it is said that he attained very high states of concentration. And he had many teachers, it is said, but since he was a very special person, very soon he attained even more than his teachers. But still he could not find the ultimate realization. So he saw one day that 5 people were there, 5 ascetics, and he saw that they were practicing extreme hardship, extreme, terrible austerities. So he thought, yes, by joining them, is this on? This one? So he thought by joining them, he will get some help. So we will share a photo of that. Here you can see Buddha is sitting there, and behind him those are supposed to be the 5 ascetics. So Prince also became adept at their practices, and he began to reduce his meal slowly. So you can see the emaciated Buddha, and Buddhist art often represents him seated in the meditative posture in an emaciated form with sunken eyes and protruding ribs. He had no food, you see. So this you can see here. So this is supposed to be the state when he was performing. He was practically starving himself. So Buddha did that terrible penance, but he concluded that if the body is so weak, then I cannot even attain I cannot even practice any type of spiritual discipline. So this is not the correct path, that going without food and weakening oneself. So he said, no, this is not the path. So one day it is said that he was sitting in this extremely weak condition, and a woman came and saw him. So in India there is a tradition, if you see a monk, you give something. So a woman by the name of Sujata saw him and offered him a dish of rice and cream pudding. In North India they will call kheer, and otherwise they will call pies or something. So the 5 persons were seeing Buddha sitting. When they saw that Buddha had accepted that, they thought he is finished, he is fallen, he is of no use, let us leave him. And they left Buddha and went away. But the opposite was going to happen. Buddha was going to attain enlightenment. So Buddha took that pudding which was offered, and then he sat down with the firm conviction. What was the conviction? This is a very famous verse. What did he say? That I have done so much practices. Now I am determined. What? Ihasane shushyatu me shariram tvak asthi mangsam pralayam chayatu aprapya bodhim bahukalpa durlabham naivasanat kayam chalishyate. So ihasane means iha asane, on this asana, on this seat. Shushyatu me shariram, let my body dry up. Tvak asthi mangsam. Tvak asthi mangsam means skin, bones and flesh. May they all return to the elements. But aprapya bodhim bahukalpa durlabham, without attaining the enlightenment, which is extremely difficult to attain, even in many kalpas, very few attain that. Naiva asanat, from this seat, my body will not move. That was the firm determination with which he sat down. So, but there was one final test. He meditated till dawn, but still there was one final test. What is called as in Christianity they call Satan, and Buddhistic tradition they call it Mar. Mara means evil one, to tempt him. So those are not outside, it is all inside. So Mara came to tempt him. So you can see here Buddha sitting under this tree. This is Buddha, and on the right side you can see all the hobgoblins and all these things you can see. So they denote Mara with all his temptation and all that. So he came to tempt Buddha. The god of desire, who knew that the prince was seeking to put an end to desire, so he'll be free from Mara's control. All the persons are within his control, Maya. In Hinduism we call it Maya. So Mara came, attacked him with wind, rain, rocks, weapons, burning ashes, sand, mud and darkness. But the prince remained unmoved and meditated on love, thus transforming the hail of fury into a shower of blossoms. Then Maya sent his offsprings, 3 offsprings. What? First is sensual pleasure, second is thirst, Trishna, and the third is discontent. Always discontent, want more and more, want more money, want more riches, want more property. So he sent these terrible things to tempt the prince, but nothing could move Buddha. In desperation, it is said, Mara challenged the prince's right to occupy the spot of earth upon which he sat, claiming that it belonged to him. Then, in a scene that would become the most famous depiction of Buddha in Asian art, the prince, seated in the meditative posture, stretched out his right hand and touched the earth. By touching the earth, he was asking the goddess of earth to confirm that a great gift that he had made as prince in his previous life had earned him the right to sit beneath the tree. So Buddha had many previous lives. All the tales, there are which give stories of his previous life also. So anyway, the thing was, it is said that the earth assented. Yes, it is your place. And finally Mara had to go away. The prince sat in meditation throughout the night. During the first watch of the night, he had a vision of all his past lives, recollecting his place of birth, name, caste, everything. During the second watch of the night, he saw how beings rise and fall through the cycle of rebirth because of their past deeds. In the third watch of the night, the hours before dawn, he finally gained enlightenment. So he gained it under the Mahabodhi tree. So this is the tree. Thousands of people still go on a pilgrimage. So this is supposed to be the tree under which Buddha had attained enlightenment. So under this tree, Siddhartha became Buddha, an awakened one who had roused himself from the slumber of ignorance and extended his knowledge throughout the universe. Everything became revealed to him. He realized how ignorance leads to selfish action and eventually to birth, old age and death, and how when ignorance is destroyed, an end is put to the endless cycle of birth and death. So now that experience was so profound that it is said Buddha remained in the vicinity of that tree for 7 weeks. He was just savoring his enlightenment. Such was the profound experience. So it is said that one of those weeks was very rainy, and the king of serpents came and spread his hood above Buddha to protect him from the storm. So this is very frequently depicted in Buddhist art. So here you can see, on top you can see serpent. Buddha is protected by serpents. And after all this time, finally he received his first meal after enlightenment. And that first meal was from some merchants. At the end of 7 weeks, 2 merchants approached him. So this is supposed to be the painting. The 2 merchants are offering meal to Buddha. And knowing that it was improper for a Buddha to receive food in his hands, it is said, the gods of the 4 directions each offered him a bowl. So magically all those 4 bowls collapsed into one bowl, and in that bowl Buddha received the food. So now Buddha was thinking what to do next. He knew that this was what he had achieved was very, very profound and extremely difficult. So he thought, will anybody be able to understand? If I tell them, if I teach them, will it be of no use? Because ordinary people are living right below, and what he has achieved was the highest state. So it will not carry any meaning. So what to do? So it is said that when Brahma in the heaven he saw Buddha was thinking what to do, he came down. He descended from heaven and asked Buddha to teach. He said, yes, Buddha, you are telling that people are at a very low level, yes. But not everybody is at the low level. Some may be ready for your teaching. So consequently, Buddha agreed. So you can see here, Buddha is sitting, and it is said that on one side is Brahma and the other side Indra. So both gods came and bowed down before him and asked him that please preach what you have, please preach the path to others also. So okay, Buddha thought, where should I start? So he remembered those 5 ascetics. He said those were the first ones with whom I had joined. So I think they should be the first one to receive this teaching. It is said that first he thought of enlightening his teachers who had taught him, but they had all gone away. They had all passed away at that time. So now he thought, okay, let me teach those 5 people. They were the first, in a sense. So Buddha determined that they were residing in a deer park in Sarnath, outside Varanasi. Have you? Any of you have gone through Sarnath? No.
My mom has.
I went long.
Yeah, I have also gone. So he went to Sarnath. That was the first sermon he gave in Sarnath, and he set out on foot. So the 5 ascetics were sitting there. They thought, oh, this fellow is coming. He has fallen from the path. So what can we learn from him? But Buddha approached them. And these people you cannot ignore. In Swami Vivekananda's life, we see, wherever he went, people automatically stood up. So when Buddha approached, his power was so much that those people automatically stood up. Besides, in spite of themselves. So in respect. And they were his first disciples. So you can see the wonderful carving here. Those who are online, they will not be able to see the whole thing because it is cut off, but those who are here, they can see the whole one. So you can see the 5 disciples of Buddha sitting, and they asked Buddha what he had understood, and Buddha taught them. He set the wheel of dharma in motion. He gave the first sermon. So he taught them what? We know the teachings of Buddha, that don't go to 2 extremes. Don't indulge in too much sense pleasures, nor go to the other extreme of going without food completely. Have enough to be healthy, at least. And he also taught them the 4 noble truths. We know that existence of suffering, etc., etc. So we will see, as elaborated more fully elsewhere, we will see those things. But just a glimpse. The first is that there is suffering. The truth of suffering, which holds that existence in all realms of birth is characterized by suffering. You may be born in California, Alaska, India, wherever, or heaven, Mars, Jupiter. We cannot escape suffering. And we know what are they: birth, old age, sickness, death, etc. Losing one's near and dear ones, encountering enemies. Second truth identifies the cause of this suffering. What is the cause? Our negative deeds of body, mind and speech. These deeds are motivated by negative mental states. I want this, I want that. ignorance, desire, etc. The third truth is the truth of cessation, the postulation of a state which is beyond suffering. So the question may be asked, we all know what there is suffering, so what new are you telling me? The new thing is this, that we can get rid of suffering. We are not doomed to stay in this state forever if we want. And he said, if the ignorance that motivates selfish actions can be eliminated, naturally we won't perform any negative actions and future suffering will not be produced. When ignorance is destroyed, everything will happen of itself. There will be knowledge and all seeds of future births will be destroyed. So thus there is destruction of the cause of suffering and the impossibility of future suffering. So let's have a look at a beautiful this is you'll be surprised, this exists in a monastery in Afghanistan and it goes way back to 2nd century. Buddha has been portrayed by so many nations, you see, because Buddhism has spread far and wide. There is hardly any place where people have not heard of Buddha and are not followers of Buddha.
Is it still there?
Yeah, of course. Then he's been represented differently by different people according to their own. So another we will see, this is Burmese in Burma. Burma, of course, it is, Buddhism is very, so here you can see the expression, it will be like a Burmese. Yeah. So, 3 truths we have seen. What is the 4th truth? There is a way beyond suffering, yes. But that state which is beyond suffering remains hypothetical without a method of attaining it. And that 4th truth is the path. Path is delineated in a number of ways. So we will not go into all those details now. So now Buddha's preaching, we enter the post-enlightenment period, and the Buddha soon attracted many more disciples, sometimes converting other teachers along with their followers. As a result, his fame began to spread. And naturally, the news travels fast, so it reached Buddha's father also, that my son has not died or something, but he has become a great soul, he has become an enlightened one. So, king sent messengers to invite him. He said, now you have achieved, now you return home. But Buddha could never do that. So, those whom he sent with the invitation, many people he sent, it is said that when they came in contact with Buddha, they also became converted. And they also became disciples of Buddha. So, he sent 10 couriers, it is said, 9 became converted. The 10th one returned to the city. And maybe he brought Buddha with him, nobody knows. So Buddha, it is said, he went with the 10th courier. But he told his father that yes, you are a king and all, but I am a monk. So I cannot even eat at your place. I have to get my food by begging here also. And of course his wife Yashodhara was also there. So she said she will not go out to meet Buddha. If he has to meet her, he has to come. So Buddha agreed. And then she of course bowed before him and placed her head on his feet. And she also became a nun. So then it is said that she sent Buddha's son to Buddha, that you ask for your inheritance. What can your father give you? So what could his father give him? So Buddha also, it is said, made his son a monk like him. So this is is from the Ajanta caves. It is said cave number 6, Ajanta Ellora caves. And here we see a wonderful depiction. Buddha's young son. So Buddha is asking one of his disciples to maybe ordain Rahul also as a monk. So naturally, when Buddha's son also became a monk, Buddha's father was very upset that you fellow, you have become, and your son also, so where is my lineage, where will it go? So then he said, no, you cannot make people monks like that. So give me my word that you will convert someone only when his parents give you permission. So Buddha made this a rule that only if the parents permit.
That's where it will come.
Fortunately, in Ramakrishna Mission we have no rule, otherwise most of us would never have become monks. So anyway, Buddha spent the 45 years after his enlightenment traveling with his disciples across northeastern India, teaching dharma to those who would listen and occasionally debating with other scholars or other sects. And of course, he went on teaching from his own realization, and many people were converted. Many became monks, but most of them remained householders, but his followers. And at the request of his widowed stepmother Mahaprajapati and the women whose husbands had become monks, the Buddha also established an order of nuns. So we have seen his wife herself became a nun, and the monks were sent out to teach the dharma to all, preaching that. So another wonderful you'll see a silk embroidery from Japan, and before that this is from Central Java, Indonesia. This is what you see. Indonesia, this is a little late, early 9th century, and here you will see a wonderful silk embroidery. This is from the Nara National Museum, Japan, and this is treasured in Japan. It is counted as one of the national treasures of Japan. So first of all, Buddha and his disciples used to travel in all seasons, but later they did not do so in rainy season because it is very inconvenient. So in India also it has become the tradition for monks to, the rainy season they will stay at one place. It will cause Chaturmasya, it is called. So in Vancouver, if that was there, I think 8 months no traveling. Yeah. So anyway, now we come to the last part, the death of Buddha. So shortly before his death, Buddha remarked to his close disciple Ananda on 3 occasions that if a Buddha wants, he can also extend his lifespan. But then Mara came. It seemed that Buddha had promised Mara to pass into nirvana when his teachings were complete. So Buddha said, okay, I had promised that I will pass away now. My teaching work is over. And he agreed to pass away 3 months hence. And it is said that when he passed away, there was an earthquake also. So when he pronounced this, that I will pass away after 3 months, then there was an earthquake. So a disciple asked him, why is this earthquake? So he said, when a Buddha decides to go away, this happens. So Ananda was a disciple, so naturally he did not want Buddha to go away. Buddha said, no, that now nothing can be done, I have to go. And it is said that at the age of 80, the Buddha, weak from old age and illness, accepted a meal. We don't know what it consisted of, but many people say that it was actually pork. So it was a person from a smith named Chanda. So Buddha, as soon as he ate that thing, he became severely ill. And at a place called Kushinara, also called Kushinagar, he lay down on his right side between two trees. And a monk was fanning him, so he instructed the monk who was fanning him to step to one side. Why? Because he said, many gods have come to witness my passing away, and you are blocking their path. So you should move aside. And we will see some pictures. So Buddha, you can see, this is the Japanese one I was talking about. This is Buddha lying down. You can see he's passing away. And another I will show you. Here you can see. So, after he provided his instructions for his funeral, he said that people should make pilgrimages to the place of his birth first, to the place of his enlightenment, the place of his first teaching, Sarnath, and the place where he is going to pass away. Because he said, those who make these pilgrimages, they will be reborn as gods. And he explained to the monks that after he has gone, the dharma which he has taught should be their teacher. Finally, the Buddha asked his disciples who had assembled whether they had any last question, any last doubt. So, everybody remained silent. Finally, he declared that everything in the world was transient. There is nothing here which will stay. So strive with diligence to gain what is eternal, which will not go away. These were its last words. So this you see a huge statue, Buddha's lying down. Then it is said Buddha entered into meditative absorption. Slowly he passed into higher states, and finally he passed into nirvana. So I will show you one of the earliest representations of the Buddha. This is in the mid-1st century, and it is in the British Museum. Here you can see this. This is one of the earliest representations of Buddha. It is in the British Museum now. So about Buddha's death, Swami Vivekananda said, I will quote him, and consider his death. If he was great in life, he was also great in death. He ate food offered to him by a member of a race similar to the American Indians. Hindus generally do not touch them because they eat everything indiscriminately. Buddha accepted, knowing that this will bring his end. But he told his disciples, you don't eat that. I will eat, I cannot refuse. Go to the man who has given him that food and tell him, he has done me one of the greatest services of my life. He has released me from this body. Because being in a body is only suffering. Then it is said an old man came and sat near him. These are all Swami Vivekananda's words, I am quoting him. An old man came and sat near him. He had walked miles and miles to see the master, And Buddha, even in that state, taught him. And when he saw a disciple weeping, Buddha scolded that disciple. What is this? Is this the result of my teaching? Let there be no false bondage. No bondage to any human being. No dependence on me. No false glorification of this passing personality. The Buddha is not a person. It is a realization. It is a state. And you, all of you, work out your own salvation. Unquote. Swami Vivekananda's words ends here. So lastly, Buddha's relics. They are enshrined in, where? Many places. What are they called? Stupas. So we will see 3 very famous stupas. First is the Sachi stupa, then another stupa in Sri Lanka, and another Tibetan. So this is the Sachi stupa. So Buddha had instructed his followers to cremate his body as the body of a universal monarch would be cremated, and then to distribute the relics among various groups of his disciples. And they were to enshrine them in hemisphere you can see, structures called stupas. So it is said his body lay in a coffin for 7 days before being placed on a funeral pyre. Then it was set ablaze. After the cremation, his relics were entrusted to a group of householder disciples. But it is said that armed men arrived from 7 other regions and demanded the relics. So in armed men, so if the monks had fought them, they would be massacred. So in order to avoid bloodshed, the monks divided the relics into 8 portions. According to tradition, 10 sets of relics were enshrined, 8 from portions of the Buddha's remains, 1 from the pyre's ashes, and 1 from the bucket used to divide the remains. So total 10. These relics were subsequently collected and enshrined in, it is said, sometimes they say distributed among the stupas, because there is a stupa in Sri Lanka. I'll show you this is the stupa which is said to contain the maximum amount of relics which was divided. Who knows? So the stupa, there are many stupas as you know, the stupa would become a reference point denoting the Buddha's presence in the landscape of Asia, and early texts and the archaeological record link stupa worship with the Buddha's life and key sites in his career. So 8 shrines are typically recommended for pilgrimage and veneration. They are located first at the place of his birth, Lumbini, then his enlightenment, his first turning the wheel of dharma, that is the first teaching, and his death, and also in 4 cities where he is supposed to have performed miracles. So one final picture. This is a Tibetan art showing the Buddha. So I will of course end with Swami Vivekananda's words about Buddha. He says, the great one who never even thought a thought for himself, never thought a thought and never performed a deed except for the good of others, who had the greatest intellect and heart, taking in all mankind and all the animals even, all embracing, ready to give up his life for the highest angels as well for the lowest worm. So that is why he is the Buddha. So let us end here. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna